Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss a new topic as well as it is the last topic of this chapter. So the name of the topic is From Cocoon to Silk. So here in this last topic we'll be discussing how silk is reared with the help of the silkworms and how we process this silk, how we get the silk fabric from the silk fiber. We'll be discussing all this in this topic. So let us begin. Now for obtaining silk, silk moths are reared and their cocoons are collected to get silk threads. So in order to get this silk or the cocoon, the most important thing is that we have to have the silk moth, because without the silk moth we won't be able to get that. Now next point is rearing of the silkworm. How these silkworms are reared. So a female silk moth lays 100 of eggs at a time. So first of all, the first step is that a silk moth, a female silk moth will lay eggs, and they lay 100 of eggs. Then after that, the eggs are stored carefully on a strip of cloth or paper and sold to the silkworm farmers. As soon as the eggs are laid, before it hatches, they are being carefully wrapped up, you can say, in a piece of cloth or a paper and then sold to the silkworm farmers. Why they are sold? Because then from there they can rear it and create those cocoons that is required to get the silk fiber. We will come to that. The next is the farmers, what they do that. Then after that, the farmers, they keep those eggs under hygienic conditions and under suitable conditions of temperature and humidity. It is very much required. Hygienic condition is also required, as well as the proper temperature and humidity. In order to what? In order to hatch. Without proper temperature, if it is kept outside in the cold or in the hot, or you can say in the outdoor environments, it won't hatch into the silkworms. So you can see the next point says the eggs are warmed to a suitable temperature. Suitable temperature is very much required. You might have seen in the case of other animals or birds, not animals actually, we'll say, in case of birds especially, for example the hen, you can see the hen after laying the egg, it sits upon those eggs in order to incubate. In this process is called incubation. So in order to give the proper heat, or the, you can say not heat, you can say the temperature that is required for hatching purpose. So these farmers also, they keep them in such a place where there is a suitable temperature so that it hatches into the larva, or you can say the caterpillar. So this is done when the mulberry trees bear a fresh crops of leaf. After hatching, what is required is this larva will definitely not survive on its own. It needs to be fed. It needs food, you can say. So these mulberry tree leaves are very much essential, the fresh leaves. So what this larva does is that the larva or the caterpillar, what you say, or even you can say silkworm, they eat these mulberry leaves, the freshly chopped mulberry leaves, and then they keep on eating day and night. As soon as they come out of their you can say the eggs, they start feeding. This is the natural process. Now then, next is, you can see here, this is a diagrammatic given representation. You can see the female moth has laid a lot of eggs. Then as soon as the egg hatches, starts eating these larvas. And this is the mulberry tree leaf, and then later on it forms the cocoon. We'll come to that. So this is the whole process of the cycle. We have learned it in the life history of a silk moth. Now next is the worms are kept in clean bamboo trays along with freshly chopped mulberry leaves. Yes, because they need to be fed always. So mulberry trees leaves are kept in a bamboo tray where these worms keep on eating. It is just like a table for them. Now after 25 to 30 days. So they keep on this process, eating process or feeding process. It keeps on up to 25 to 30 days unless they grow up into bigger caterpillars or their size grows. Then after that, what they do is that they move into the tiny chamber of the bamboo. There's a small chamber in the bamboo, and inside that bamboo, or you can say inside a hollow bamboo tube, you can say, they go inside that. There is a chamber for them, and there they start to spin the cocoons, you can say. In that tray itself also they make the cocoons. So here it is given in the tiny chamber of the tray, not in the bamboo tubes. They can also do it in there also. So in the tiny chamber of the bamboo tray, they start spinning cocoons. You know how they spin the cocoon? By moving their head in the form of the shape of 8. Now then after that, what they do is that small rags or twigs may be provided in the tray to which the cocoons get attached. Yes. There additionally we can add some twigs or rags. Rags like this bamboo, not bamboo, sorry. They like this, the old clothes and all these things, or even the twigs, the dried leaves and these branches. We can provide it so that the cocoons get attached to it. They need you can say a surface to get attached where they can do this spinning job. Now next is the caterpillar of the silkworm spins the cocoon inside which develops the silk moth. Yes, we all know how they spin the cocoon. In the last class we have discussed that. Then after spinning the cocoon, gradually they go inside the cocoon and starts weaving it, or weaving the cocoon, you can say, from the inside, and gradually after a period of time they develop into a fully grown silk moth. So this is the whole process of formation of cocoon. Then after the formation of cocoon, how from this cocoon we can get the silk fibers and then process it to the silk fabric, you can say. So that is the process, processing silk. Now a pile of cocoons is used for obtaining silk fibers. A lot of cocoons will be required if you have to make a big fabric, or you can say a large amount of fabric from those silk fibers. Then next, the cocoons are kept under the sun or boiled or exposed to the steam. Okay, before bringing or taking out the fibers, they are being exposed to the sun, or they are boiled, or even they are exposed to the steam. So this is done in order to get the silk fibers. Directly we cannot just take the cocoon and take out the fibers from it. You have to do this process. You have to keep it under the sun. Means we have to provide the heat. That's the main phenomena done here. You have to provide the heat. Without providing the heat, these fibers won't come out. The next, the silk fibers separate out. Yes, as soon as we provide heat, the silk fibers gradually separate out from that cocoon. Then the process of taking out threads from the cocoon for use as silk is called reeling the silk. This process of taking out the fiber is called the reeling of the silk. It's called reeling. Now reeling is done in special machines which unwind the threads of fibers of silk from the cocoon. Okay, nowadays, I don't know, before it might have been done manually with the help of hands, but at present these are done by the help of special machines. Obviously machines can do it much precisely as well as very well, or the amount of or good quality of, you can say, fibers can come out with the help of machines. If we do it by hand, it would be a hectic and a troublesome job, you can say. It would take much time also. So now the silk fibers are then spun into the silk threads which are woven into silk clothes by the weavers. So these silk fibers, after they are taken out, they are again spun into silk threads. It is somewhat similar to that of the wool that we have got in the case of the sheeps. The fibers after taking out, in the final case, what we have done is that in the final step in there, we have spun the threads. We have to spin the threads, otherwise we can't make the fabric out of it. So in this way, they are again woven into silk cloths by the weavers. So this is the manufacturing part. So that's it then. This chapter ends in this way. So I hope you all have understood it. You can go back to your textbook. You can go through this process. And now I guess you all have understood how we get our fabrics from the fibers. So that's it then. Thank you and have a nice day.